Hey guys, so today I'm going to be taking a look at some 100-watt BougeRV solar panels. These are flexible solar panels and they've got fiberglass integrated into them to make them more durable. Here's one right here. See if I can get it all the way in the camera. So it's different than some of the other flexible solar panels I've seen in the fact that it doesn't have that slick, shiny surface. This is actually like a really rugged surface. It's supposed to help with impact, having the fiberglass in there. They also are flexible. Like I said, you can go, I think the manual says it's just about a C shape that they can bend, which this should work pretty good for me on my little camper. It's got kind of a dome shape at the top. So I'm going to show you guys where I'm going to put them on my camper. These can go, obviously they have these mounting holes here, so you can put them on different surfaces, but it also shows in the manual how you can put them on a roof there, like a little camper roof, and put some glue to hold them down. So yeah, I think they will work good in my case, and I'll do some testing to see if we can get close to max output for these, even though they have that rough surface. So I'm assuming they did that too. But yeah, it's pretty interesting because see the back is kind of slick like you're used to seeing on a typical flexible solar panel. But yeah, these are pretty neat. So yeah, I'm going to get started here and test them. I've actually got a charge controller they sent me also, the 40 amp charge controller. So I'm going to hook this up to it and see if I can charge with that and see what kind of wattage we're getting out of these too. After I show you, I don't know which one I'm going to do first. I might show you how I'm going to put them on the roof of my camper, or I might hook them up first. I haven't really planned that far ahead yet. Also, this is a little bit of an ugly backdrop. I know I normally wouldn't use my garage door as a backdrop, but my walls are sort of occupied. So I've got one wall that I'm prepping for 12 volt stuff or 24 volt testing. And I might do some 48 volt stuff over that way also. So it's that way. And then this way is my typical testing wall where I have stuff. So I'm also doing some reviews on other stuff over there. So yeah, it ended up being the garage door this time. I thought I'd just explain the change in scenery. So yeah, here's the top of the trailer. I could actually fit the panels in that flat spot in the center, but whatever works. Look, I could put them on the front here. This is towards the tongue, or the back side. Whatever works for getting the wires into the trailer itself. What makes it easier? Whatever makes it easier. But there's enough space on either side of the roof vent. I have two of these 100-watt panels, so I can put one on either side of the roof vent and run it in however it looks like they'll work best. So yeah, really nice to have this as an option, the flexible ones. Plus the low profile, it depends on what kind of panel you were going to get. But with the roof vent there, it'd probably be the same even with a rigid panel, but having these as a low profile on something, if you've got them in, if you've got a tight garage door to get them in, depending on what you're going to be putting them on, it's nice to have these the flexible panels. They're so thin. So I just made a little wall to test smaller systems like this. And this is the 40 amp charge controller that BougeRV has. They sent this to me also. So this is actually not a bad charger. 12 volt is kind of funny because I didn't do anything with 12 volt first. I started with 48 volts. So it's almost like I missed my childhood. So this is, it's actually pretty neat charge controller. The controls are rudimentary. It's just basic stuff. You can do everything from the controls here. It's not a very fancy screen. The app is actually really nice. I'll show it to you guys here on the screen. They did a nice job with the app. They spent some time on it. So you can do everything through the app and, of course, monitor everything through the app also. It's Bluetooth, so this little thing here, you can wire it up. I guess you can string it up pretty far away too, I guess, for a better signal or closer to where you're going to be. If you have it in an RV, you can get it probably closer to the front where you're going to be driving or whatever. Yeah, that plugs in. The signal goes pretty far, the Bluetooth signal. So like I said, the app is decent. The wiring wasn't difficult, but there's not a lot here. They actually sent it with some nice terminals, but I used some just 10 gauge ones that I crimped on there. I wanted to save the nice terminals maybe for a permanent project. And I've got the solar outside to two MC4 connectors. So I'm going to hook them up, the panel up in just a minute, and see what kind of wattage we get from a single panel, and then maybe I'll put both together and see what we get from that. Before I do go out there and plug that in, though, I did want to mention one more thing about the charge controller. It has 2 load terminals in here, well, just positive and negative, to run 12-volt lights on the charge controller also. So actually, you might be able to see the icon. I'm not sure how well it, and I can pan in a little closer, but yeah, so there's a light bulb here at the end. So I shut it off with the app, but yeah, you can make these 2 terminals down here live to power 12-volt lights at the same time. So yeah, pretty neat. I thought it was pretty interesting. All right, so I'm right outside the shop door, and I've got the panel in a decent spot. I may have to tilt it a little bit. We'll see what kind of wattage we get here. I'll check on the app here in just a minute. All right, well, that's a good sign. We're getting 5 amps of solar, it looks like. So I'll look at the app here. All right, so the highest I saw with the single was around 86 watts, I think, is what I saw total. So let's see how much I can get out of 2 hooked together. Depending on the time of year, obviously, if they're going to be flat on the camper, I can probably expect somewhere in the 120 to 150 watt range. Hard to say. But yeah, definitely, I guess I was expecting, I mean, you figure they wouldn't even try to sell them if you'd get less wattage for the texture. But I guess I thought with the texture of these that you would get a lot less wattage on the panels. But no, I think if you had them tilted correctly, if you were on the right, I'm going to be laying them flat, but if you had them tilted correctly, I don't think you'd have a problem getting to the maximum wattage they have listed on them. So yeah, guys, all around pretty cool solar panels. I will leave a link in the description below. You guys can check it out and check the charge controller out also. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.